Hello guys, welcome to the yet another video tutorial on C++ for beginners. And in the last video which I made for this series was the introduction to constructor. Now in this video I'm going to teach you about destructor. So what are destructor? Destructor is another special kind of class member function that is executed when an object of that class is destroyed. So you can say it's the counterpart of the constructor. So we use constructor to initialize some values, and we use destructor to destroy the object or variable when it goes out of the scope. Okay, so I have an example. By now you already know how to create a simple class. So I have created a simple class called books here, and I have a constructor, public constructor here, and it's nothing but the name same as your class name. So this is the declaration of the constructor. So let's see how we can declare a destructor first, and then I will show you how to use it. So to define a destructor, you just need to copy the class name once again and just paste it like this once again. But the destructor, it starts from this symbol called tilde. This is a small squiggly line, or I call it tilde. So this, whenever you start your member function which has the same name as class and it starts with tilde sign, it's called a destructor. And the basic use of this destructor is to destroy the object whenever it goes out of the scope. So let's see a small example. I will output something on the screen. So I will say we are in constructor and end line, and in the destructor we can say it's a destructor. Okay, so we are in destructor. Okay, and in the main function, or in main, I have defined an object of this class or an instance of this class. So if you have watched the last video, you already know that whenever I create any object of a class, first of all constructor is called, and once it goes out of the scope, which means once it goes at this line at the end of the main function, it doesn't it's not necessary that it's has to be end of the function. Whenever your object goes out of the scope, then this destructor is called. So let's compile this program and let's see what will be the result. So it's compiling. Now let's run the program, and you see here, first of all, your is called whenever you create an object of a class, and once it reaches the end of your scope, for example the end of the scope for this object is the end of this function, then this destructor is called. And whenever this destructor is called, all the resources which are contained by this book object are released, or all the memory which is held by this object is released. Okay, so it's a destructor is used to release all the resources which are used by the object. Okay, and in between this constructor and destructor you can do your basic basic programmings, for example printing some something or some useful work. Okay, so it will start with the constructor, do its work, and once it goes out of the scope, then it will call this. Okay, so let's see once again. Build the program, run it. You see, first of all, constructor is called, then it execute the code which you write in that same scope, and whenever it goes out of the scope, it called a destructor, and all the resources are released by your object whenever this destructor is called. And one more little important thing that I have also uh, told you about this in the last video, I think, that whenever you don't even declare the constructor and destructor in the class or C++ will create a constructor and destructor for you by itself. So it depends upon you if you want to use constructor and destructor for your some useful work which you want to perform with them. Otherwise your class automatically uh, has constructor and destructor by default, so you don't need to define them explicitly. But if you can perform any useful task with constructor and destructor, for example constructor you can initialize some values, or in the destructor you can want to release some resources from other variables or other classes, then you can do it with the help of destructor. So this is what is the use of destructor. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.